Today, we're talking all about cutting-edge tech for blind and visually impaired people. Almost 300 million worldwide are affected, and most of them develop their condition over the course of their lives. So it could, in theory, affect anyone. But how can tech help? Let's find out on Shift. Imagine waking up one day to find your world looking something like this, or even like this. People with visual impairments see the world differently and often have to learn new ways of navigating it. They might rely on others or on tools like walking canes. Braille is also especially helpful. But recent advances in AI might add one or two more to that toolbox, like this very special guide dog. Robot dogs, soon to be taking the lead in the guide dog world. In theory, they can do just about everything their furry counterparts can. Only this quadruped doesn't get distracted. No brakes, and it can be shut off when not needed. Navigating via sensors and cameras, the RoboDog can even identify traffic lights.
I can tell the robot where I'm going via voice recognition. I can control the speed with this cane. If I need it to go faster, I just push it all the way forward. If I need it to slow down, I just pull it back and it will adjust its speed.
This could be a huge development for the blind in China.
There are only 400 guide dogs in service in China, but we have about 20 million blind people. It's impossible to solve this problem with guide dogs alone.
Research into robo-dogs for the blind isn't just exclusive to China, however. For researchers at the University of Glasgow in Scotland, their biggest challenge is navigation. So, how will robots find their way around? GPS is pretty reliable when outdoors, but problems arise inside buildings and confined spaces. So, how can we solve this?
When we are developing something like this, it's a mixture of several things. We use computer vision, we use 3D technology where it scans the whole environment and it understands where each object, each pillar, each obstacle is, and it memorizes or remembers that.
This should enable robot dogs to guide people safely indoors, like in this museum, and even using speech.
We've integrated some large language models to this solution so it can have intelligent conversations.
So the RoboDog can answer questions about its surroundings, providing information about the route. And that's just the beginning.
We want to put this technology onto a wheeled robot. We also want to put this a normal humanoid robot and also such kind of dog robot so that the end user, they have different choices.
Whether robot guide dogs will catch on is not only a question of resolving the technical issues, but also about finding one to buy in the first place and how much they could cost. But there might be a cheaper and simpler option, and improving what's already available might be more viable in the short term. It's time to update the classic white walking cane with the help of AI. Cutting-edge tech could be key in improving access for the visually impaired. Equipped with cameras and sensors, this AI cane from Glidance can guide users even along predefined routes. It recognises obstacles of all kinds and can even describe its surroundings acoustically. Walking speed can be set to suit individual needs. And according to its manufacturers, the AI smart cane from WeWalk recognises obstacles not only on the ground, but also at chest and height level. And with the accessible app, your cane can bring you to the nearest bus stop, and once there, it informs you which buses are leaving next. Once on board, it'll tell you when you've reached your final destination. AI glasses like Orcam or Envision glasses also promise better navigation through everyday life for the visually impaired.
AI is great for people with visual impairments. It brings us closer to our goal and allows us new access to information. For example, people used to send memes to people with disabilities. And what could they do? Nothing, because they couldn't see them. But now AI allows us to read memes, to read text. It gives us image descriptions, it gives us descriptions of videos.
But he believes that this technology won't be widely available for some time to come.
Worldwide and in Colombia, a lot of people are unemployed. AI tools would be a huge help for people with disabilities. Many people with visual impairments are unemployed and don't have the financial means to buy a new device. So how can we buy these devices and how can we connect them to the internet? In Bogotá, the capital of Colombia, there's no neighborhood where you won't find an internet connection. But it's very different in rural areas.
It's not uncommon for AI models such as ChatGPT to be integrated here for recognising the user's environment and helping them accordingly. Until now, that was often done by family members or human assistants. This next app brings these two approaches together. Developers of Be My Eyes want to use a chatbot in their app. Users will be able to take a picture which is analysed and described with a bot based on ChatGPT. And if the AI gets stuck, real people can still be called in to help, as was the case before. The app allows blind people to request assistance. Be My Eyes sends a request to volunteers, matching language and time zones. The first volunteer to respond is connected to the person seeking help. The app then transmits video to the volunteer via the user's camera. This allows problems to be solved together, such as small tasks like reading out labels, helping with groceries, or even withdrawing cash from an ATM.
For me, please. Head to the right-hand side.
Yep.
That's it. And at the top of the four buttons, so just...
Brilliant. There we go. I pressed the top one.
£20.
Anyone can register in the app as a volunteer or a visually impaired user, and there's no limit to the length or number of calls. The app also helps when it comes to problems with products. To do this, it establishes a direct connection to customer service. The representatives on the company's end are specially trained to advise people with visual impairments. Going to the movies can be notoriously difficult for visually impaired people. There has long been a lack of good audio descriptions for what's happening up on the screen. But for the past few years, the free app Greta has offered a solution, an additional soundtrack for blind movie lovers. But when it comes to video games, things are quite different. They tend to be visually orientated and impossible to play without good eyesight. But a startup from Leipzig wants to change all that and develop video games for sighted and blind players alike. That means focusing primarily on sound.
It's pretty tight in here. Let's move quickly. Come on.
For most players, video games are a visual experience.
This cave is huge.
But for Peggy, who is visually impaired,
Oh, I bumped into the wall again.
the sounds and vibrations of a game that guide her.
Listen to the sound. Help me find it. When I play the game, I rely on acoustic cues, for example, a fairy or some voice that says, you have to go this way. Or if a noise gets louder, I know that I'm getting closer. If it gets quieter, I know that I'm moving away from it.
For the blind and visually impaired, gaming has long been inaccessible. Inclusive Gaming, a Leipzig startup, is working to change that. Now players are also guided by spatial audio. The sounds in the game are three-dimensional. For example, we can locate a person speaking behind us without seeing them. The challenge then is to artificially reproduce this natural sound perception.
You have to find a way to transform it into audio or maybe into haptics like controller vibration. You can create very immersive audio environments actually with spatial audio.
This allows players to enjoy the experience and ensures equal opportunity.
To put it bluntly, I don't want to deal with it every day. I just want to switch off sometimes.
In addition to 3D sound, the team is also working on games that include audio descriptions. The goal, more accessibility. But reaching the target audience is not always an easy task.
Many blind people are not so much on social media like Instagram or TikTok because it's mainly visual media. So it's actually kind of hard to reach them.
Once this hurdle is overcome, no additional equipment is needed to play the games.
You just need your computer, and to receive spatial audio, you would need headphones.
The developers say that this is just the first step. Inclusive gaming is still a budding concept.
It's going to a very positive way. We see big companies bringing accessibility, especially for blind and visually impaired people, to some of their games. I don't think it will be the case for all games soon that you have like an accessibility setting for blind people.
They believe gaming's inclusive future is bright. Nobody should feel excluded in everyday life. That's as true for non-disabled people as it is for those of us with disabilities, which opens up a brand new way to see. Ben Neumann surfs without seeing the waves, thanks to this headset. He's determined to win gold at the next World Para-Athletics Championships.
It's important to understand that obstacles, and that's where my motto "No limits" comes into play, are really mostly in our head. It's important to find solutions and be creative.
Ben became blind at the age of 6. At 13, he started surfing. His father is always with him as mentor and guide, connected via the headset. He tells him where there's obstacles and other surfers, but Ben's own senses are equally important.
If you concentrate and listen, you can tell a lot from the sound of the wave. Meaning, where's the white water? Where is it most turbulent? How does the sound change? And that also changes depending on where you are on the wave.
AI and robotics are taking tools for people with visual impairments to the next level. But this is by no means the end of exciting new developments with the technology. Researchers have long been working on brain implants to restore vision. But, of course, that introduces a wide range of ethical questions. What do you think? Let us know and see you next time on Shift.